be doing a Macmillan coffee morning, of course, today, giving cakes out and all that sort of thing. We've not been able to host that today, unfortunately, but never mind, we will certainly look into doing that again in the future. Again, back with Howard and Matthew, which is, of course, absolutely brilliant. We'll get cracking today. So, I mean, Matt, how are you? Are you everything all right in Morecambe and Lancaster?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Good, yeah. Morecambe and Lancaster still firing on all cylinders. Still a very, very, very busy week. I'm sure if you'll talk to Kerry, who helps obviously with all the sales progression in the office, she'll probably have maybe no hair left after this week. I know everything has just been absolutely manic. Again, it's good to see all the offers coming in. Plenty of listings still happening, but overall, great week, great month so far. Plenty of sales and plenty of listings. It's still going full steam.
Excellent, mate. Thank you very much. And yourself, Howard. How are you? How are things in Preston?
Yeah, you're doing all right here, really, to be honest, in Preston. First of all, I want to say the sun's still shining, so I'm glad to get that rain out of the way. Some bad thunderstorms yesterday, and dare say you probably had them up there as well. So yeah, overall doing very well. It's getting busy, plenty of viewings, houses coming on, and viewings taking place, and like Matthew said, offers taking place as well, which is good news. So the property market is moving. Just one little note I'll mention here is that bit of positive, good news for the local people in the South Ribble is the fact that our local leisure centres, so we've got one in Pembrokeshire, we've got one in Bamber Bridge, the local ones, they're preparing to reopen because they've been closed for 6 months due to this coronavirus pandemic. So initially, just so everyone out there, they're going to operate on a part-time basis, so not all the activity is going to be open. And they just need to complete some procedure work on getting it ready so it's COVID friendly and COVID secure. So the final go-ahead is going to be given shortly for both sites to open from 4 to 8 p.m. on the weekdays and from 8:30 to 2 o'clock on Saturdays. So it's going to be reduced hours. Pembrokeshire, 28th of September, so make no note of that if you want to go back and keep fit and go to the gym and so forth. Monday the 28th of September. And for Bamber Bridge, the other side of Southwell, that's Monday the 19th of October. So a little bit of positive news there. And while I'm on talking about the South Ribble, this weekend, it's the deadline for people who've got views on this. Basically, there's an exciting project going on in Leyland where there's a 25 million development, potentially. So the town's funds, it's a once in a lifetime really for Leyland to receive £25 million. And it's to invest in current and new buildings to create basically a new heart for Leyland. So it's the Leyland Town Centre improvements, the Leyland Market improvements, and the BAE2, it's a business hub development for businesses and workspace, events and schools nearby. So this weekend is the last time that you have an opportunity to go and talk about it, to have a look at the plans, and to make a vote on it. And if you go down to Leyland Market today, what's after today, and tomorrow, if anyone wants to do any proposals, and you can complete a questionnaire down there and go down there. If you can't get down there, if you go and visit the South Ribble Borough Council website, you can get all the information on there. So yeah, everything's looking positive, and that's a great news for Leyland. Fantastic, £25 million.
Yeah, it sounds it's good investment that, and it's always good as well to get the sports centres open and all those sort of things.
Yeah, trying to get back to some normality.
Well, it's great for physical and mental well-being, isn't it, for everyone? So
yeah, I think so. Yeah, you focus your mind on something else, because you know yourselves, if you do an exercise and your mind can get lost in something else rather than be overthinking complications and personal problems, etc. So as well as keeping healthy. So yeah, good news all around.
No, cheers, mate. That's good. Good to know. Obviously, there's a few bits that's been going on this week, and I know Matthew, you've been doing a bit of research for us into mortgage rates, and what's going on with those.
I have, yeah. I thought I'd just check out what's going on. Obviously, we've got the stamp duty cuts, and I thought I'd check, because we're all in the game to save money. We all want to spend it at the moment. I know buying houses, but you still want to get the best deals you can. General kind of just quick analysis that I've done. Again, by any means, I'm not a specialist in mortgages. However, remortgage rates are slightly just over 1% at the moment. The best deals I could find just by quickly going online. You know, if you're a home mover, so if you're porting your mortgage, or you're getting a fresh new mortgage, kind of lowest one I could find, again, just over 1%. First-time buyers, again, first-time buyers are paying a little bit higher on the mortgage rates. You know, again, that's with a 10% kind of deposit, so you're 90% loan to value. Your rates are a bit higher, kind of just over 3% at what I could find. You know, so that's obviously higher, but of course there's a bit more of a risk factor there. You know, if you look at the data analysis with first-time buyers, you know, first-time owning a home, getting used to all your bills and all that malarkey. One thing I did want to kind of specify in is that I've done a bit of research into kind of the buy-to-let market, because, again, we've launched a couple of properties this week that have been on absolute fire. And I thought I'd kind of just look into that. Now, when, again, reading online, you can get all this information yourself. The buy-to-let sector is up on figures that have been released by the Financial Conduct Authority. They were revealed earlier this month, which includes house purchases, remortgages, and further advancements from those remortgages. And that was from during April to June. It was at 14.4%, which is an increase by 1.2%. Now, that's an increase from last year. That might not sound like a right lot, but it is. Now, these figures I've given you were taken before the stamp duty threshold increase was introduced. So I'd love to know what it is now, because obviously I think from what we've found, people are spending that a little bit more on their buy-to-let investments. Of course, you're still going to have to pay your second home tax, but if you're saving your money on your stamp duty, it's working itself out, if that makes sense. There has been a slight decrease in first-time landlords. However, you know, there are still some out there. Again, it's a similar one to the first-time buyers. They're, you know, expecting higher deposits, and they're not giving out the best deals to the first-time landlords as an opposed, you know, with the first-time buyers. So if you're an existing landlord or existing homeowner, the deals are out there to be had. Make sure you do shop about and speak to people. However, with the stamp duty savings in this, in my opinion, now is the time to buy.
Yeah, it's good. So there's definitely rates out there, isn't there, for people to get, and there is lending available, you know, which is good to hear for all parties, because, you know, first-time buyers, for instance, we need those in the market to sort of start everyone moving. You can't move unless the
Absolutely.
market goes. So stamp duty cut doesn't really affect them, but it affects the people higher up the chains, doesn't it? So without those,
of course it does. I mean, relatively, you know, your first-time buyer rates are still pretty low. So, you know, if you do your research and if you get a good broker, make sure you shop about and you'll get a good deal.
Yeah, good stuff. Cheers for that, Matt. It's a good bit of information to have there. I'm sure you agree. That's everyone agrees that it's great that the finance is available. So, yeah, good. Anything from what you got, Howard? That you were on about some great house giveaway or something earlier, weren't you? So,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, first off, I'll just say, Matt, it's interesting news, and some positive news as well. There's more mortgages coming available. So, yeah, thanks for sharing it with me and everyone else out there as well. Yeah, basically, there is an argument, you could say, that on UK television, that there's too many property programs on there. If you look at all the, you know, daytime TV schedules, Simon O'Brien, Matt might not remember Simon O'Brien, but Simon O'Brien, probably best known for in the 1980s. He was a Brookside actor, but he's also now he's a stalwart for the show like Flog It. He hosts that. So this new Channel 4 program coming out later on this year called The Great House Giveaway. What it will do is this show, it will offer a few lucky couples the opportunity to buy at a property auction using real loans provided by a specialist finance team called Together. And it offers a facility up to, listen to this, £3.25 million for the show competitors, and they'll also sponsor the series. Obviously, they're getting something out of it. And what it is, really, to give you an idea, during each episode, two of the team people have never met, so they've never met and not owned properties before, will be set a budget, and they're given 6 months to turn their projects into basically making money. So, and the good thing about it as well, they keep any money that they make during the process. So it is quite interesting. So, you know, we see these like homes under the hammer which you see people buying and you see before and you see after. This, you're going to see them working on a budget with their money that they've given it, treat it as their own, how they develop it, how they're going to make money on it, and those lucky so-and-so get to keep the monies at the end. So yeah, it's later on this year. I don't know exactly what the date is, but it's Channel 4 later on this year. So yeah, if you're interested in property, and I'm sure you guys are, have a look, tune in, and you know, if you know any more, let me know about it.
I think people like seeing change.
How do I enter it?
Yeah, how do you enter it? That's a good one, Matt. Yeah, we've never met each other before, see. We're not quite a couple, but but yeah, how do you enter it? Yeah, that's a good idea, that. If anyone knows how to enter it, let Matt know.
Let Matt know.
Yeah, don't let these guys know, let me know.
He's always after something out of you, Matt. No, that's that's good, that pal. That's yeah, I'll have to look out for that one. I'm always interested in those, and I think everyone who can will probably watch something like Homes Under the Hammer, won't they? Because everyone likes to see the change in a property and see how well they get on. So yeah, it's that's good. It's good. Just speaking of mortgages that we spoke before, and you know, what's going on in the market, and we know that it's really busy. You know, the speed of sale is something that, you know, we get asked a lot, isn't it? And when, you know, when am I going to be able to buy a house that's going to be done before the stamp duty finishes? We get asked that more often now than not, I think, don't we? I think that, well, it sounds a long way away, the March deadline for stamp duty. You know, the questions about it are definitely frequent. So what do you guys think about this? You know, is there, we've talked about stuff we can do to help. When do we think people will need to have bought by, really?
Well, I don't know. I was going to say, personally, I think you've got, realistically, anything from 4 to 8 weeks. I think really that kind of period, really, to take advantage of it, because already there's been a backload of you know, with the solicitors, with some of the surveys getting put in, and before you know it, you know, Kevin and I, we discussed the other day, half of December, and I was speaking to a solicitor last night as well, half of December, half of January is, you can count that away, because solicitors, conveyancers do shut down for the last 2 weeks in December and the first 2 weeks in January. So my view is, realistically, 6 to 8 weeks if I'm cutting down to, I don't know, what do you think, Matt? Something similar?
In regards to buying, I mean, if you're going to buy something or sell something, in my opinion, now you need to be done in October to get this stamp duty and everything, you know, all that malarkey. I like you rightly just said, I think Christmas, January, as you rightly just said, you might as well write it off, because the amount of catching up that has to go on after that period, because everywhere closes. Rightly so. I mean, what's your average conveyancing time, even at the moment, taking, you know, because of the backlog? I think we're finding it here in Lancaster, maybe, I'd say longer than 8 weeks. I'd say 10 to 12 at least.
Probably more like 12 to 16, I would think.
Yeah, I'm probably, you know, I'm being quite generous there, but as you rightly said, mate, I think for me, I'm going out and doing valuations at the moment, and when I'm doing viewings, and I'm saying to people, honestly, not to put pressure on you now, this isn't about Lancaster, and this is just me as an individual. I am saying to them, this is no pressure, but you need to be on the market within the next few weeks, because realistically, you're even pushing it to get sold at the start of November, in my opinion. You know, you've got to be really on the ball there.
Well, there is stuff that you can do to help that, isn't there? You know, we mentioned it a couple of times over the last few weeks, and something that we're certainly speaking to our clients about is that, you know, trying to help the solicitors out by doing some of the work that they would do now. So you're getting your contract pack sorted, so you like your fixtures and fittings, and you're making sure the title's all in place, and ordering searches. Searches last 6 months, but they're, I think when I bought in July, I think it took about 10 days for my searches to come back, but already we're getting feedback that they're at least 4 weeks now. You know, so if that's and they're not getting ordered by solicitors till 2 weeks or so into a sale minimum. So there's a huge battle there. So the sooner you can order them, the better. You know, so if you're on the market, you know, speak to your estate agent about trying to get all of that stuff sorted. And if you're thinking of going on the market, ask the question as well: can you get all that stuff done with them I say, we're discussing with our clients all the time, aren't we, that we can perhaps help, and that just might make the ability to sell the house go on a bit longer. So you might,
yeah, I think you're right. It will attract as well, Kev. Sorry to interrupt you. It will attract as well if people are out there doing that, and and they've got everything ready, like I said, you've only got that period of time. I said 4 to 6 weeks. That probably falls in line with what Matthew's saying there by the end of October. So it's about right. But if you've got all that you're saying in place, Kevin, you speak to your estate agent, they get solicitors, they get searches in place potentially for the sale of your house. It's going to help your buyers choose your house over any other house, because the likelihood is it will go through quicker and within that period of time scale. So yeah, well, that's what I don't care. I think that's going to be the way forward.
Yeah. No,
anyway.
I think it is. Yeah. So there's been a lot learned, I think, during this unfortunate period of COVID and lockdown, wasn't there, that the way that people buy and sell houses will change and should change. There's lots of better ways of doing stuff, isn't there? We're just sort of stuck in a rut, I think, weren't we, as an industry.
Yeah, it's a new way of life and everything. It's like they're again encouraging people to work at home again, and a lot of people are working at home. Which just on a side thing on this, people are working at home, so that people are using their own electricity, aren't they? For example. So I also think there'd be back to properties. I also think there'd be a lot of buildings coming on available, or for selling again, or for rent again, because some companies will close them down and work from home. So then there'll be available properties out there and buildings maybe to convert to flats or whatever. So I think long term it'll put something back into the property market.
Of course it will.
Yeah, I think it will, mate.
So
You're definitely right there. Yeah, cheers for that, lads. Obviously won't keep everyone too much longer, because I know everyone's busy, but one thing I mentioned to you guys last week was the change in seasons, the change in weather. We've witnessed over the last couple of weeks. Summer to autumn, summer photos and properties, everyone sort of runs in to get the nice sunny pictures, gardens full of flowers, all these sort of things. What do you guys think of changing up for the season?
Yeah.
Should we be changing them? Should we not be changing them?
I personally, I think when it gets to autumn, I would change the pictures. I would wait until. I mean, it's difficult because, of course, the weather's not going to be as great as what it was in summer. However, I would recommend changing them simply because the other aspect of how, say, if I was a potential buyer, and I'm not just saying this because I'm an agent, I would look at those pictures. Something was in the, some agents keep photos on from the spring. Now, if your property's been on that long, you need to do something about it. But even from the summer, you should change your photos in accordance with each kind of, spring, summer, autumn, winter. Because if you leave like spring photos on, there's nothing changed about your property. There is nothing changed, whether the light in the house, the front garden, the back garden, everything. And also, if I was a prospective buyer, it just keep reminding me that your property has been on the market since the summer. So it'd make me feel like, what am I doing sort of thing. So that's my perspective. I don't know how Howard feels, but that's what I would recommend from my professional view.
I would, I'm never really to what you're saying, because I do think a lot of estate agents out there, they'll just take a picture and they'll leave it on there, and they'll leave it on there and leave it on there. And what it's really doing, if it's not selling and we're not getting any interest, it's highlighting the fact that people out there, that other properties are coming on the market, let's say with no leaves on trees out there, and it's highlighting when was that taken, so it's been on at that time. And one of the things that always make me laugh is you're seeing the property March or April, May on the market, and they've got a picture of the lounge. Right? You'll have seen this before, and in the lounge there's a Christmas tree. And they're like, well, straight away, that's been on the market. Straight away, that's been on the market for like 5-6 months. So yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with taking new photographs, whether it's each season, or it might be the case that we do, myself and Mark, we drive past the house and it's a different, the lights on the house different, it looks different. We'll take a photograph of it, we'll update it for you, we'll change it around. We also don't always run with the external photographs, so we change them around as well. So changing the external photograph, yeah, it just kind of, I wouldn't say trick, but it just.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, I would say. But those Christmas or other ones as well, is back to those ones I said, Christmas trees. You see the front of the house, it's not on the market. We're coming into July now, and there's 6 inches of snow on the drive. I've seen that over the years as well. So yeah,
I think
it needs to be a little bit more proactive.
to summarise that, I think you both agree there that yes, you need to change them, and that's only really because it looks like your house has been on the market for too long. Or,
Yeah.
You know, or you've got, like you say, Christmas tree in June in a picture. You know, so make sure your agent is changing the pictures. You know,
Yeah.
and speak to your agent as much as you can.
Even take one yourself, Kev. Even take one yourself. If you're on the market and your house looks good outside, rather than maybe ring your estate agent, go outside, take your car to drive, most of the landscape, take a photograph landscape, take a few and digitally send them in and see if your estate agent can upload them for you.
Good stuff. Okay, guys. Well, just to finish off, thought I'd just go through the market update and just give you an idea of where everything is at so far. As you know, we're almost at the end of the month now. What have we got? 5 days left. So we change slightly by then, but things are looking pretty good, I think, for the market still. So we'll start, Howard. We'll start in the PR postcodes where you are. All right. So new instructions, and again I'll compare these to September 2019 to this year. So in 2019, properties came to the market as 297. Okay. And so far we are on 247. So 50 short.
Right.
It's got a chance of being there. It's going to be there or thereabouts, probably, isn't it? Given that it's,
yeah, I would say so. Yeah, it's not too far away. I thought we might have crept up a little bit, actually, in all honesty. But I thought we were probably going to be the 260, 270. But it's still positive.
Yeah, it is. Sales 151 in September 2019, and 197 so far in 2020.
Yeah, well, that's actually higher than what I thought. So that is unbelievable, isn't it?
So he's flown up 46 up on last year already. Again with a weekend and a few days to go next week as well. So that's going to be really far.
Well, I'm hoping to contribute at least one, maybe two to that. So.
Good stuff. That'll be good.
Yeah.
And then Matt, you same thing. So properties came to the market in 2019 was 265. And so far in 2020 is 259. So we're just a few short. So that is going to go over. As ourselves, we know we've got several listed today as well. So we'll probably take over that. So that's good for the market. It's a busy time. Sales, same picture as in the Preston area there as well. So 176 in 2019 and 220 in September 2020. So far. So again, well up, same sort of numbers. 5-6 days left to go, whatever there is. It's going to be good. Good month there as well. So it just shows you how busy they are, and that adds into the backlogs that we're talking about and all the stuff that you need to do to try and mitigate those delays. So yeah, all positive. We'll have the full picture next Friday to the end of the month.
Yeah.
So we'll know exactly how September will have finished.
Just before you go, Kev, as well, can I just say thanks to two people, to John Gibson and Ken Burton, who live, I don't know if you remember we discussed this, plot of land in Little Hill, Knoll Lane, Oldfield, Long Meadow.
Last week,
and I thought Applethwaite Homes were looking at, I think that, so these two gentlemen, Ken and John, in the local area, they contacted me to say that it's true, it is Applethwaite Homes, they've been to see all the planning and so forth, and it looks like there's going to be a new development in the Little Hill, Much Hill area. So thanks, guys, for giving me the update. Thank you, appreciate it.
Excellent. That's good to know that somebody got in touch and fed that in. It's good to know all that stuff, isn't it? So cheers to those guys, and cheers to everyone. Cheers to you guys as well for coming and giving every Friday again. Hopefully helping people out as go forward. We'll be back again next Friday, and hopefully we'll be able to help them. We'll have a picture fully of September then as well, so it'll be interesting to see. So have a nice afternoon, everyone. We'll see you